What is going on, guys? KrysticMusic here. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. We are glad to have you. Today we're going to be learning how to make a melody or chords using a sample, quick and easy. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'll show you like the finished product, and then I'll go ahead and show you like how to do it. So let's just clean this up a little bit so you can see it a little easier. So this is the sample that we are using. So on itself, it just sounds like this. I got it from Splice. So basically it's just that over and over and over again, right? So if you wanted to create a melody from this and you didn't want to just, paste this over here and just leave it like that, if you wanted to kind of make it your own, instead of just using the sample that everybody else uses, you can do it like this. This is an easy way to do it. So first, we'll just be focusing on like these two right here, these two tracks. So let's just rename it sample, right? And then this one, I know it says strings. Actually, we'll leave that there because that's just what I have. So what you want to do here is press Control-Shift-T, and that'll bring up your MIDI track, or you can, do it from here, insert MIDI track. We already have one here. I have Serum just loaded up right here. You want to put an instrument on there. If you don't have a plugin, Ableton does come with a few instruments. Depending on which Ableton version you have, you'll have more or less. So you have all these instruments that you can play around with. So basically you would just add this to your MIDI track, and there it would be, right? You can play around with that. But for now, I have Serum here. So I have these strings over here, and we can just play around with those. So you got your MIDI track, you got your instrument, whatever that may be, Serum, Massive, any kind of instrument, or the instruments here in Ableton. So basically you just literally drag this. The shorter it is, the faster and more accurate it probably will be. So we'll just go ahead and just drag this on top of the MIDI track, and then you'll see this convert audio to MIDI, and you'll go ahead and just depending on what you want to do, you can even do this with drums if you want. But for this example, we'll go ahead and focus on harmony and melody. First one that I always use is just melody, especially if you go back to hearing this. It's more of a melodic tone rather than chords. There are some chords in there, but to me and to what I want, I'm just gonna go melody, and it's gonna do its thing. So you just press melody, and once it's there, I will go ahead and see what it kind of figured out. So it's not going to be perfect. Don't expect this to be perfect. It's 100% not, but it will give you something to go off of. And if you don't know the key, you can always go to tunebat.com and just drag your sample in there, and it'll give you the key. I think this is a B flat major or something like that. So we'll go ahead and go off that for the sake of the video. We do have our MIDI track. So this is what it came up with on itself. So basically it's going to be all jumbled up, because especially if your sample has a delay on it or reverb or something, it's not going to be exactly accurate. The more accurate the sample is, the more accurate you're going to get. Since we chose melody, you're going to notice how it's just one note, right? It's basically just one note. There's not really any chords being done here. So what you could do with this is basically everything is going to be in key besides little notes. Like I said, it may have a delay effect on the sample. Everything is relatively in key, right? But anyway, so we got here A sharp. So let's just go ahead and just play around with it, right? So as you can tell, like it's way, like we got several octaves here, right? So if we just put them all relatively on the same octave, we'll go ahead and see what that sounds like. So you can kind of tell, and just using your ear, you can kind of tell what sounds like what. So pressing B on the keyboard, you'll get this little pencil key, and you can just pencil it in, right? So if you're having trouble coming up with a melody, you can just use a sample and then come up with it yourself, right? So for example, I could just literally just click away. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. You can kind of create your own melodies, and using the keyboard as well. If you have a MIDI keyboard, you can definitely play around with this and kind of make it your own, right? Pressing Control 1 or Control 2 will make the grid smaller or, larger. Pressing Control 3, it'll make it triplets, and you see it. Where is it actually? Oh, it's right here. Oh, they moved it. That's crazy. It was down here. Now it's over here. Anyways, so you have your quarter notes, and does that sound for triplet? Oh yeah, it does. Triplet grid. You'll get your triplet grid. So that's Control 3. Control 1 is narrow grid, and then to widen the grid is Control 2. Look at that. This is why I love Ableton. Anyways, we'll go ahead and leave it at that. So we all know what we're doing here, right? So we'll go ahead, and this is what I came up with just off camera here, just real quick. Basically, I just did what we did. I put it all in key, and this is what we got so far. So you can tell it's really different from the sample, but the notes are the same. So you can take any sample, put it in a MIDI track, put it to melody, and create your own melody. And for this, I just put another instrument and put it down an octave. So together it sounds like this. It's kind of like a down pitch kind of. Very airy feel. So you kind of see where that goes. We'll go ahead and do this. Let me just bring this one up here so I can show y'all, attempt to show y'all. So if you want to do chords, you can do the same thing, right? You can go ahead and do it with chords. So let's just go ahead and do that, right? We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to do it with chords, right? So we're going to go ahead and create the harmony, which, as you can see here, there's chords, right? This is melody, obviously those are drums. So we can go ahead and switch that to harmony, and it's going to look a lot more, it's going to look a lot messier, right? So as you can tell, this is what it pulls up, right? It's gonna be a lot, right? Especially because this isn't like chord based, it's more of a melodic tone, so it's picking up all the notes. So this is what it sounds like by itself. So you can kind of hear that it is not all there, but you can also kind of hear that it's kind of there, right? So with this, you can, depending on your sample, you can use it as a harmony. What I like to do though is just use the melody and create the chord of the root note, right? So this is A sharp. So create A sharp chord here, D here, just depending on whatever key you are, right? So basically you just take the root note and you can make your chords using this root note of the melody. It's like two birds, one stone, right? You get the melody and then you can build off the melody using that root bass note. But if you did have a sample, you can always try to get this harmony mode. It does take a little bit more work though. It's just depending on what you were going for and what your sample is. But I just thought I'd show y'all that to show y'all what it looked like. For example, I went ahead and did this using these root notes that you see here, and I just took the root note, made them chords, and this is what it looks like on that view. So you see your A sharp, your G, A sharp, all that stuff, right? So that kind of sounds like this, just in itself, using those root notes, and then you just make it however you want it, really. So now you hear that they're chords, right? And not just a single note. I did also make this pad that is over here. Same concept, except the chords are longer to make it more atmospheric. You can literally add any instrument that you want, right? So this is what this sounds like based on this sample. So you can kind of tell how it goes all together, right? So just by this one sample that I got, we were able to make a melody, a high-pitched melody, a lower-pitched melody, and then we were able to make stab chords, and then we were able to make pads in longer chords, right? Based on this one sample, we didn't even have to do any thinking, really. We just had to use that sample, create it our own, and then whatever kind of melody you want, whatever BPM you have, whatever key you have, this can work with anything. So if you have any questions, or if I needed to explain something more, I wanted to make this quick and easy because this has helped me so much, like writer's block, or if I'm just stuck and I can't really create a melody, I'm just like playing the keyboard and nothing's really like sticking, right? So you have a sample that you can get to get your brain kind of working in that mode again. But anyways, again, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and let me know if you want to see more of these like tutorial quick little videos. But anyways, I will leave it at that. Thank you for watching. If you stayed to the end of the video, more tutorials are coming. And again, my name is KrysticMusic, and I hope everybody is having a great day, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.